What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show recap with Mo, where we're getting ready to get into another episode breakdown of Tyler Perry's Sistas. But before we get into that, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit that's going down, alright? So the episode we're getting ready to get into is Season 7, Episode number 7, titled It's Giving Scandal. Now, the synopsis for this episode states, just when things seem to be perfect between Andi and Jordan, a damaging story about Jordan's past surfaces that not only impacts his campaign, but his relationship with Andi. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this thing. All right, so we kicked this episode off with Gary and Tamara. And as we recall in the previous episode, Tamara and Gary locked lips. And I already knew this was about to go down. I could see the sexual and I saw it. I saw it. I just couldn't put my finger on it, but I could see it from the get-go that this wanted Tamara for himself. He really did not want Hayden to be happy. What he really wanted is for himself to be happy along with Tamara for another love toy. And I saw it a mile away. I just couldn't put my finger on it for real. But you can see this coming. Like, all this time he's been telling Hayden, don't trust her. Like, she's not good for you, but she's good enough for you to put your lips on her. I'm just saying. So anyhow, when Hayden comes in, he was like, y'all good? Now let me stop real quick right here, because Hayden is no fool. So I know that he can look at this situation and tell that it's not right. Now maybe he's just going to continue to play this out just to see ultimately what's going to happen. Or maybe he's just that gullible. But I do not honestly believe that he's this gullible. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see, right? So anyhow, Gary is like, look, I still believe that you need an A-list client, to get your name out there in the forefront. That way, when they're looking for an individual to become partner, you would definitely be the one. Now, Hayden is like, look, man, I'm good with everybody, but the only issue in all of this is your girl. Your girl, Andi, is the problem. Gary's like, look, you don't even have to worry about that. But while they're in the midst of conversating, Tamara picks up her plate along with Hayden's. And of course, Hayden has to comment on that because he's turned on by her being, a domesticated woman at this point in time in the room. All right. So, as Tamara's getting up to leave, Hayden looks around, see them yams in the back, put them hands on her. And she was like, boy, stop. And I was like, you like that, Tamara. That's your man right there. And listen, sisters, we know y'all like it when it's, let me just say it like this. When there's a man that you're in love with, that you want to be with, and it's consensual, I get it. Y'all like it. Now, outside of that, I get what you're saying. No, we don't like that shit. I get it. But anyhow, in this context, she liked it. But as she walked on by, he had to do it, all right? So anyhow, moving on from there, Gary leans over to Hayden like, hey, man, you need to watch out for Tamara. Now, I thought he was going to say, hey, you need to watch out for Tamara, man, because right now we just locked lips. You know what I'm saying? It just happened. Like, you can't trust her. But I knew that would be too good to be true, right? So he goes on to tell Hayden that, hey, man, listen to me. Like, when the mistrust comes in, the love and the sex goes out. And usually it goes to someone else. I was like, huh? Are you serious right now, bro? Are you talking about yourself? Like the love is going to transfer over to you? And I'm looking at Hayden right now like, dude, you cannot be this dumb. And he was like, yeah, man, that's real. That's real talk. Yeah, it is real, but you need to understand that this man is now pushing up on your woman or your ex or whatever you want to call her. He's pushing up on her and she's receiving it. All right. So anyhow, moving on from there, we see Hayden and Tamara. Now, obviously, Gary and Penelope have gone their separate ways because from what we understand from Hayden is he feels like the whole relationship is a front. They're putting on, calling each other all these little pet names, boo-boo and pow-pow and whatever they call themselves, right? So he was like, man, they faking the funk right now. Essentially, that's what he's stating. So Tamara has the gall to utter these words out of her lips that she just had on Brother Gary, talking about, do you think you can trust Gary? And I'm like, what? Coming from the lips that was just on the man that you are mentioning right now? Are you serious? And I was like, look, man, I can't even do no more. I almost cut the episode off from there. Even though I don't care for hating ass hated, I don't want to see him being done wrong, but daggone, you know what? He deserves it. He really does. But I don't want him to go down like this. Daggone, man. Gary is a fool, man. Anyhow, moving on from there. Next, we see Sabrina and Rich. Now, this situation right here is a little bit hard for me because you can definitely tell that Sabrina really likes Rich. She really wants this relationship to be a foundation where she can grow within this foundation with Rich, create a family, become a wife. Well, I put that backwards. But either way, you know what I'm saying, right? And he just doesn't want that because this man right here surprises her with a bracelet, a charm bracelet to be exact, right? And he has, he's went out of his way, placed the inscription in it. That's all cool. But that's not what Sabrina is looking for at this moment. She wants a man. Let's go ahead and check the boxes, right? So she wants a man that loves her, check. She wants a man that loves to spend time and be around her, check. She also wants a man that wants to be her husband, no check. She also wants a man that wants to create a family with her, no check. So at this moment in time, Sabrina is in a battle with a man that wants her, loves her, but is unable to give her the two most important things that she wants in life right now, which is for her to be a wife and a mother. And it was so crazy because she goes on to tell him that, tomorrow I have my fertility consultation tomorrow. And he was like, oh yeah, you should definitely do that. But she's knowing that she's doing that without his support in that way. He's supportive, like you should definitely do that, but he's not supportive in the way that she wants him to be supportive, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's really bothering her, right? And you can really tell that. So she's either going to have to make the choice to stick this out, and they started going into it, but old boy came over there with that cupcake with that damn candle, and she was like, what the hell is this? So she picked up that candle, blew it out so damn quick. I was like, damn, did you wish? I mean, shit, at least if you would have wished a little bit, maybe Rich would have came around and said, you know what, I want to go ahead and create a baby with you. I want to procreate with you. But no, she didn't do that. She blew it out so damn quick, we didn't even know what she wished for. But anyhow, moving on from there, we head over to the law firm to see Andy. Now, Andy enters the law firm looking good, by the way, Let me just say that, all right? So when she comes in, she's greeted by Hayden. Now, Hayden is there, got that smirk on his face, like, everything good? You good this morning? Like, she should have known that something was wrong by the way he approached her. He was just too giddy, like he was super excited. You could tell that it was just gushing out of him to just see her in her, in all of her glory right here, about to be torn down. Like, he's getting absolute satisfaction out of that, right? So anyhow, when she goes over to her office, here comes Fatima. Now, Fatima's like, girl, where have you been? She was like, I'm good. I just got, from Jordan's house. I'm here at the office. I'm good. Everything is good. But I left my cell phone over at his crib, right? And Fatima's like, damn, girl, like, listen, do you know? She was like, no, what? Now you got me scared. She was like, oh, obviously you don't know. She was like, didn't I just tell you I left my phone at Jordan's? So I don't even know what you're talking about. So she was like, look, girl, it's all on social media. It's all over everywhere. So she gives her phone. She sees the headline. Old boy has been messing with an underage girl. Woo, woo, woo. Just so happens to be a young white girl and all of this stuff. I was like, what the hell? Like, Gary has gone too far. And I'm saying that because not only did this man go get another woman, but he didn't get a black woman. He went and got the one that can mess you up the most. Let me stop there. Let's have a moment of silence for Jordan. I don't know what he gonna do. I just don't know what he gonna do because Gary done put this white woman out there on him. I just don't know. And then Andy ain't believing him because when Andy see this man out in the parking garage while he's sitting out there camped out in this car and shit trying to wait on her to come up out, she ain't believing him. Like, she got proof. She got proof on you. He was like, look, man, it ain't me. I don't even know what you're talking about. And I've never met this girl before. And she was like, Like, I just can't see it. Like, she got proof. She got proof. Like, Jordan, she don't believe you, bro. Like you been cheating in the next room. Leaving footprints on the carpet and shit. Like, oh, man. She don't believe you, bro. So I'm going to set one up for you, bro. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. But anyhow, moving on from there, man, we see Karen and Pam. Now, Pam, for the longest, has been on her entrepreneur shit for a little while, utilizing Karen's funds, right? And that's probably why Karen did not get approved for that. You know what? I'm going to leave that there. I ain't really going to get into all of that. But what Karen was saying to Pam directly was true. Like, I'm paying you to do your job here at the new salon. But I'm not paying you to sit up here and promote, sell your rose to riches or rags to riches or whatever the damn product is. That's not what I'm paying you for. So anyhow, going on from there, Pam goes on to tell her after Karen gets into her for not doing her business at her business, she tells her about Jordan. Like, I already know you done seen it all up in the news and all of this stuff. Karen is like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. Pam said, I sent it to your text message. So Karen picks up the message and she looks at it and she's like, damn. So she attempts to call Andi, but Andi, of course, doesn't have her phone at the time when she calls her. So anyhow, going on from there, we see Tony and Danny. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I did not like this scene right here because Danny, I don't know what she's going through. I know she's going through counseling. I know all of that. We see all of that. But the way that she responded, the way that she was talking to Tony was not, it was not called for. I can understand that she was upset. I can understand that she was thrown off to see these kids pop up out of nowhere and she was trying to get her groove on. And I understand that. I completely understand that. But what I do not understand and what I do not appreciate is the way that she talked to Tony about this situation. And what I mean by that is this. I can see if he never told you he had kids. I can also see if he never told you that the kids would, swing by from time to time. And let me go ahead and say this before y'all try to jump in here and try to tell me I'm wrong. Listen, I ain't talking about what's right or wrong. What I'm saying is this. You're getting involved with the man who has an ex-wife and he had a family, right? So obviously he's already told you what was going down. And we see that later on when y'all meet up at the office, when you finally come to your senses and say, okay, you know what? I was wrong about that. And you know what, Daddy? I can appreciate that. As a grown-ass woman, as a grown-ass man, for y'all just to talk it out, for y'all to work this thing out, I can appreciate that and I can accept that all day. But that sitting up here talking about, you didn't talk to me and you didn't talk to me and then we just not going to talk all day? No, we're not doing that. Where are we, in elementary school? No, we're not doing that. Anyhow, moving on from there, I'm glad that they got that together because she did mention, the son mentioned about them tatas at the top. I would have asked the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You already had them served. Let me move on. Going on from there, we see Sabrina and Paige. Now, something got to go down. Listen, I'm tired of Paige, and then she's over here staring Sabrina down and talking about she's over her drawer limit and all of this stuff. And Sabrina's like, look, you can check my money. Hell to the no. Like, no, you need to be there when they count your money. You just can't trust them. I know there are cameras everywhere in the bank facility. But at the same daggone time, Sabrina, I know you got that consultation call you got to get on with the doctor. We get all of that. But no, I'm not allowing this woman, not this day, to check my money. Not by herself. Hell to the no. No, I don't trust it. No, 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 sir. Anyhow, moving on from there, Sabrina goes over to the office to have her consultation with the doctor. She goes throughout the whole spiel about, the embryo and all of that stuff. And she even mentioned, a sperm donor and all of this stuff. And that takes Sabrina back to Rich. As we already know, Brother Rich don't want to give up any semen. We just, at least not for that. Not for that one. Like, he'll let it go. He'll let one off, but it ain't going right. He ain't letting it go right there. Anyhow, moving on from there. We're going to see how that turns out for Miss Sabrina. But anyhow, we head back over to the office space where we see Fatima and Andy. Fatima then goes over to check in on Andy because Andy is still baptized in the funk, baby. You see what I'm saying? She's still baptized in that funk. She cannot believe what is going on with Jordan, and she's still stuck on the damn headline. Like, do some daggone work. Now, I know you flustered. I know you upset because your man told you, that he ain't have any criminal. Did I just say criminal? Daggone it. It's too daggone. He didn't have a criminal background, right? So, I just find it funny that, after 4 months, you still have no trust in this man. Now, I know it's hard to see with the headline and all of this stuff out here. You're trying to build this foundation with Jordan, and now all of a sudden you're hearing it firsthand. Everybody in the office knows about it. Definitely Hayden. Shit, Hayden probably was one that, hinted everyone of it anyhow. So, who knows? But anyhow, it is what it is at this point. Andy's just going to have to make a decision. Does she want to ride this thing out till the end to see if it's going to go down right or if something else is going to come out? So we'll see. Anyhow, moving on from there, we see Zach coming into the law firm and shit, being all loud and you know how he does, man. This part right here, I really didn't need. I mean, it was good for him to show up, give her a bouquet of flowers and whatnot, some roses. And, he also mentioned, now I did like this part. Let me take that back a little bit because he showed support for his lady, for his woman, for his queen. I get that, he found her acceptance letter, had it framed and everything for her. So obviously he went down to Michael's, had them frame it up real good and neat for her. And brought it in for her to look at. So, she was like, so you're not mad? He was like, no, I'm here to the end. I'm definitely here to support. And that's all she needed to hear. He was all good until he started talking about, hey, when we getting married, yo? And she was like, look, let's just go ahead and celebrate tonight. And then what we'll do, we'll talk about marriage later. Now, if Zach is smart, he's saying that this is a can being kicked down the road. Like, eventually y'all gonna have to set a date. You're gonna have to set a date. And maybe Andy can talk to her about it, but Zach is going to have to force that hand a little bit. And you can't force her to marry you. You just can't do that. Maybe you can give her that dictation that you was talking about, the dictation, that will help her with the presentation. Maybe you need to stick it to her a little bit more. Maybe she will come around a little. Maybe she'll start to come around. But anyhow, going on from there, we head over to the bank to see Sabrina finishing up her consultation with the doctor. And I guess she's feeling okay about it. She's not super excited about it because of what the doctor mentioned to her. But I guess she's decided to go with the sperm bank. And we'll talk about that, I guess, later in the episode breakdown. Karen comes over to visit her. Of course, old girl Paige was out there asking was she a personal friend. And of course, I'm quite sure she's keeping notes on everything that Sabrina is doing, who's coming to visit and whatnot. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But Sabrina is smart. So she goes ahead and places a credit application in for Karen, who obviously needs the money. Right now, she's telling her that she's suffering right now financially, with all the new equipment. She also had a stylist that quit and all of this stuff. And then Pam ain't living up to what I'm paying her for. She's out here doing social media all damn day instead of doing her daggone job, recruiting and getting people through the doors, right? And she gonna have to make a tough decision. Like, either she gonna keep her there or she gonna find somebody else at the new hair salon, right? So anyhow, going on from there, they started talking about the whole Jordan situation. Karen is like, well, I tried to call her, she didn't pick up. And they were like, yeah, okay, we'll definitely just go over to her crib or whatnot later on that night, have a girls out. So while Karen is finishing the application, she submits it for Karen. Karen is denied, a line of credit. Of course, she's shocked by that. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm not too shocked at all, because I believe that Pam has been using her money to, build her entrepreneurial grounds here. I understand that she stated that she would have got a line of credit. I would be intrigued to find out how much she actually received from the bank. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't believe she received a whole lot. That's the reason why she's utilizing Karen's funds. Unfortunately, that's putting Karen over the threshold what she needs to be able to get approved. So essentially, her debt to income is too much. And right now, she's not bringing in the income. So I get it. So moving on from there, Sabrina's like, hey, Andy just gave me some money. I could go ahead and give that to you. Karen is like, no, I'm not taking any more money from y'all. Well, shit, you better take it from somebody. You just got that spot. That new spot. It's good. But if you don't pay that note, you already see what old girl did with when that money didn't come through, she cut off the lights. She was like, y'all want to sit up here and have your grand opening in the dog? So old girl don't play, man. Go ahead and get her money. And it's crazy because that old saying is always true. Like, even though I've never gone through it, the whole point is this. Like, if you got to choose between your mortgage and your daggone lights, go ahead and pay that mortgage or that rent. Don't nobody know when your lights are out. Don't nobody know that your water is out. Like, listen, it might be out a couple of days. We're going to get that thing back on. We're going to be good. You see what I'm saying? You can go down to the YMCA, get you a good bath. You see what I'm saying? But everybody know your ass thrown outside. I'm just saying, like, now I don't know where you are, where you live, what location, what part of the world you're from, but I know growing up in the state of Tennessee, like, you will drive by and you would literally see people's stuff outside on the curb. Now, I think now they've gotten a little more, to the point where they place your items in a storage unit. Because if not, you know what the people gonna do? They're gonna come right by, they're gonna bag up, they're gonna see free stuff. All right, let me move on, man. Oh, what did I miss? Oh, the situation with Maurice. So Maurice calls Sabrina to check in on her. She lets him know what's going down with, the whole situation about the fertility clinic and all of that good stuff. And, while he's in the midst of talking, he's also prepping for one of his clients on the computer who's from Australia. And he leaves the door ajar. Now, he's done that quite often, like people just walk into his crib. That's not too safe. Definitely after you've had the craziness going on with Q and all of that stuff going on. Like, that's just not too bright. Anyhow, so, with him leaving the door ajar, he's in there talking to Sabrina. He's gotten off the phone with Sabrina and, he's preparing to, appease this client that's on the computer. He doesn't see Grayson coming in from his peripheral. He just keeps on and on talking to the break of dawn about he doesn't want a boyfriend. He doesn't really want a committed relationship. Whoop, whoop. Now, the issue is Grayson overhears that conversation. All right? And he pretty much asks Maurice, like, do you even want a relationship? Maurice is like, yeah, I definitely do. Like, he was like, why are you here so early? And he was like, look, man, I came over here to surprise you, see if we could go out to eat before we went to this little jazz concert. And, Maurice was like, yeah, I'll definitely go back there and get ready. He was like, no, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out, homeboy. And then Maurice has the audacity to sit up here and get upset because old boy's like, look, man, we're going to sit this one out. We're not going out. I'm not spending my money. All right? And Maurice gets upset, as I stated, talking about, I didn't even like jazz. Like, I'm more so of a, a city girl, right? And I'm like, bro, like, why? Like, why would you even think about or put yourself in the context of a city girl when the city girl culture it's played out? And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want no problems. But I'm just saying what it is. Moving on from there. So we head back over to hating ass Hayden's crib where we see Tamara. Lord have mercy. What have you been all my life? Tamara's sitting on the couch. Hayden's in the other room. I'm assuming he's just getting out of the shower because he comes in with a towel on and she's talking to him from another room. Now, while she's in the midst of talking to Hayden, she receives a phone call from Gary, right? And I'm like, what? So there are going to be a lot of what moments in this, so just get prepared, right? So this right here says, look, I just can't stop thinking about your lips, and I'm not talking about the lips on your face. I'm like, what? So then she was like, who is this? And he was like, oh, so you don't recall me, but you recall my tongue going down your throat. And I was like, uh-oh. So she was like, okay, I know who this is. And then she sits back, starts to put her hand over her chest. I was like, don't do it. So then he was like, look, while you making love to your man tonight, I need you to think about me when I'm going off it. I was like, oh, bro. I was like, hell no, Gary. Like, that's supposed to be your man's woman, man. Like, that's your boy. Like, but we already know you selfish as hell. And you going in on his girl? Like, come on, man. Let's stop it, man. Let's stop it. Where's the peace in all of this? So Hayden comes in and he was like, who you talking to? She trying to hide the phone. Of course, he don't pay no attention to it. He tells her, she tells him that it was spam. And that was it. And I was like, hold on, you just gonna go off of that? But we'll see what he does next episode. But anyhow, going on from there, I've gotten tired of talking about Hayden and Tamara. Well, not Tamara, but Hayden definitely, right? So we head over to Andy's house and we see all the ladies over there, and Andy is still in the phone. I mean, she's staring out into the middle of nowhere. Danny is on the end. Karen is on the other end. And of course, Danny is like, so are you going to stay with him? That's a good question. Good question, Danny. Good question for 500. Are you going to stay with him, Andy? Of course, Andy can't answer the question because right now she's thinking about herself. She's thinking about her career. She's thinking about her potentially becoming, the front runner for a partner for her firm. And she cannot mess this up with a man that is a pedophile, right? I just can't do it. And, the ladies are there to support her by any means, of course. But while they're in the midst of conversating, she gets not a refund, but she gets a phone call from brother Jordan himself, right? Jordan is like, look, I tried to call you. You ain't picking up the phone. She was like, look, I just need to separate. I just need some time. And Jordan is sitting up here like, I know you ain't about to break up with me. And like Sister Maya Angelou, one of our ancestors, stated a long time ago, when people show you who they are, the first time, believe them. You need to believe what you're seeing right now with Andy, man. Andy is, it's so crazy because as I'm watching this, I see a lot of Hayden in Andy and Andy and Hayden. Like, they're both selfish people. That's the reason why Andy ended up with Gary. Let's be honest with this whole situation. He was also married at the time he got with Andy. Andy knew about all of that situation, but she didn't care because what she was getting was gratification for herself. And she didn't give a damn about the wife or the ex-wife. So, at this point, I could really not care at all that she May's partner. Would it be nice? Yeah. Would I care? No. Would it change anything about how I feel about Andy? Absolutely not. Because at this point in time, you're not appreciative of people. And I understand you're trying to stay clear of whatever could potentially fall back on you. I get that. But without evidence, it's going to be hard to believe. And I think she saw a little bit of that when he mentioned that he actually went down to the police station himself without an attorney to prove his point. And he's like, I don't need no damn attorney. Like, I did not do this. Now, I do not think it's the wisest decision. But it just shows like, look, I don't have nothing to fear at this point. I didn't do anything. And he's like, even the police officers believe me at the same time. And it's like, they did? And he was like, yeah. So I'm wondering right now, definitely due to the preview that we saw for next week, did that put a spark in her to make her think like, okay, if this dude went down to the police station by himself without representation, that can't be an individual that actually committed a heinous crime like this. So anyhow, with that being said, man, I'm about to get up out of here. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so very much. Thank you for supporting my channel. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss shit that's going down right here. As I always like to say, look, it costs you absolutely nothing to hit the like button. So just go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It helps me on the algorithm. Please do that. Please support this channel. I'm almost at 1,000, y'all. So I am super, super excited. Never thought that I would make it this far, but I am here. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.